I love a cozy season.
I've been cozy as fuck all day. Look
Yeah.
at my socks. Just look at them.
Show them off.
Appreciation
These
for
are
the
like
cozy
men's
socks.
insulated socks. Do
Mm,
they make that kind of shit for women? Can you find this kind of
yeah.
stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a market for it.
Yeah, just not at the store we were at.
Okay.
But yeah.
So I cannot believe we're almost through October.
Yeah. We were with someone this morning who was like, February? Shit, that's a year away. And we were like, nah, dog, that's 4 months from now. Like,
He was,
right
holy
around
shit.
the corner. This year went by quick.
Everything's accelerated. Everything's going by really fast. And there are a lot of,
There's a
I,
lot of things
yeah,
happening.
there's just so many moving pieces in the world and in everyday life that it's like, holy shit, everything is a whirlwind. No matter if you want to dive into work conversation, personal life, mental space, like everything feels like a whirlwind of intensity.
I think it intensifies more and more the closer you get into the holidays, too. I don't do well around this time of year, I don't think.
Yeah,
I'm learning that about myself. Yeah.
same,
I
same
think it's
though.
like a dip for me, like October, November. And then I barely make it through Christmas. And then I start over.
I feel like it's a common thing. Like there's a lot of people like on autopilot and they're like, if I just get all of these gifts and give them to people, I'll get through it and
Like, that's it. And then
I'll
I can
make
be
up for
done.
it and I'll get through it. And like, I think we're missing the point with all of that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And especially in kids these days, the point just kind of goes right over their head.
Yeah. Cause
And it
it's
makes it more
just,
stressful for the parents.
yeah. Cause I feel like everybody's like, whether you're like filthy rich, like monkey rich. Oh, God, I fucking love that monkey on Instagram.
We've
If
been
you're,
obsessed with monkey videos lately.
if you're monkey rich or if you're just getting by and you're average or if you're just like life is fucking hard and you don't know what the next step is going to be,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what, it's stressful. It's a lot of pressure to have to buy people gifts and not just buy gifts but like show up to the family functions and pretend like you go back into this
That
space.
part.
Like I feel like I don't really participate in a lot of family holidays anymore. But when I did, you almost revert back to whatever stage it was where maybe you were comfortable and you left off. Like maybe it could be in your 20s or like,
Yeah.
teenage. But like also, I feel like I get really quiet and I kind of
You close up. It's like you
close
go
up
into your
and
shell.
disappear into the background unless
Mm-hmm.
somebody asks me something. And that's not typically me in real life.
But I think this year is going to look much different for both of us. And
Yes.
I'm really excited to see what that is for us. I think every holiday leading up until now, like, we've always been in a situation that maybe we wouldn't have chosen. And this is the first year that we're making all of the choices and sticking hard to the boundaries and creating new traditions and not bending on it.
Yeah, and I don't feel like at this point right now, at the end of October, I don't feel like our boundaries have to be like as like full force. We're just starting to really examine and be aware and just like talk about what holidays we feel comfortable celebrating and how we want to start our new traditions and what we want that to look like. Not like completely shutting out friends and family and loved ones, but at the same time realizing that it is so important for us to allow ourselves to discover what it is in our relationship that we hid from our whole entire life and closed off. It's really important for us to see what that means for us and how we roll that into sharing it with our children and what the new tradition becomes for us. It's
Yeah.
really important.
I think it reminds me of like the movie we recently watched where like it is hard to have people always kind of like telling you what to do and when to do it. And I feel like we've lived our whole life like that. And now we're just our own two
Mm-hmm.
mothers that want to create like a new, it's almost like a rebirth of the
Yeah.
holiday spirit, but like
Yeah.
in our own way. I feel like my whole life I celebrated holidays a certain way because that was what like I saw my parents do or I saw my mom, and it's kind
It's
of,
hard to break traditions when you've lived your whole life because there's that guilt. You have that guilt. Well, like
well,
if I
yeah,
don't show up, they're going to think that I don't care about them.
right. And they still do the same thing that they've always done. And so that part of it too, where it's like, how do I learn that it's okay to separate myself from what was expected of me for the last 30 years? And I always just kind of like participated and,
Mm-hmm.
did what I thought I was supposed to do or whatever. But yeah, it's interesting to be the one that's like, no, I'm not going to show up because I'm not comfortable with it, or I'm not going to go there this year.
Well, and I think not just for us as a lesbian couple getting to experience the first year of holidays and traditions and what that means for us, there are people out there right now that have been married 25 plus years or however it looks for you, but like it's an election year.
Mm-hmm.
Shit is intense right now. And there are like, I keep seeing videos of like people saying like wives that are um sneaking away and like voting,
Canceling their
canceling
husband's
their
votes.
husband's vote. Like, baby doll, I'm sorry. If you are canceling out your husband's fucking vote, you need to look even deeper and like cancel him. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
cancel him because you like if you're not supporting each other in that same mindset or whatever, it feels it's disconnected. It's very everything's divided and everything's disconnected. And so it's hard to sit at the table, to want to sit at the table with certain people this year with it being an election year or even for us with it being like our fresh, brand new full year together
Yeah.
of having these moments.
That's the part for me. Take all of the like politics stuff out of it, and I still, to my core, I'm just like, I continue to go back to the same thing, whether it's because we have holidays coming up or because we're wondering where we want to travel, or maybe we're even talking about like the potential of like a ceremony of marriage or love someday. I am so stuck in the mindset of, if you did not support me for who I truly was when I was coming out and at the beginning when I was trying to find myself,
Mm-hmm.
then I have no desire to allow you in now. Like,
What if somebody came to you though and truly apologized and they were like, "Listen, I didn't get it. I just didn't get it and I'm sorry for not seeing you and I want to be there."
I'll be able to answer that for you the day that somebody actually comes and does it. Because then I'll know how I'll react, but no one has done that.
Yeah.
No one has come and said, hey, sorry for how I approached it. I see that you're actually fucking happy now and I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
No,
So
that hasn't happened.
today I had a moment when we were doing Kyle's senior pictures and the photographer who I'm close friends with, we were talking for a while and he was like just genuinely asking, personal questions of like how we met, if I was divorced yet. And I mean, we've known each other for 11 years. So
I've never met him though. I met him for the first time today. He was a very easy person to talk to though.
and I felt I feel comfortable around him
Yeah.
every time. But what made me think about it was on our drive home, I thought, I don't have too many people in my personal life that ask me these types of questions and want to know more.
Mm-hmm.
Know more about the love story, know more about where I'm at with things going through a divorce,
Mm-hmm.
and still basically sharing some type of life with my soon to be ex-husband.
Yeah.
Nobody's asking like these personal deep questions. And for me, I feel like I liked that he stepped up and he was just like, I'm gonna ask you some questions
Yeah.
and like hit it off. And I was like, absolutely,
I
ask
think the
away.
difference too, and something that should be noted, is that like he was asking out of like genuine care to know you and how
Yeah.
you got to where we are right now. Like it
There's a
wasn't like I'm
difference.
so
Yeah.
like, give me all the deets,
Well,
hit me
and
with the
that's like,
drama
and that usually is how
vibe.
it comes across in a text message. When people are asking things in a text message and they want to
Yeah.
know certain details, I get an ick because I am reading it a certain way and I'm like, are they truly wanting to know, or is it just because like they have to know for like a gossipy kind of reason?
I think
Because
people like exciting stuff. So I
or
think
drama, they like
yes,
drama.
especially if their own lives don't have a lot of it, they'll find it somewhere else. But I
And
think
ours is pretty juicy.
ours is pretty juicy. It has been from the get-go. But it's easier to know the body language of how the question is coming across when you're face to face.
And
And
eye
I could
contact.
see
The eye
eye
contact and like the
contact
genuine
and the
just like,
response, like the
yeah.
way that they respond. I could tell that like all of his opinions, I wouldn't have even known his opinion towards it because he was just genuinely wanting to know information and then saying nothing about his opinion towards it, but instead like, wow, I'm happy for you. This is
Yeah.
great. It was so good to meet you. This is like, Yeah.
And he also said something like, it's really nice to hear it from the two of you in
Yes.
person, because it is hard, because he made a comment that his wife was like, oh, poor Tommy, maybe he's on an island by himself. And it's
Mhm.
like, y'all don't see behind the scenes, like, we're like having dinner together sometimes and
Yeah.
sharing our kids back and forth. And
If I could tell Peter right now, I would actually thank him for allowing me to tell our story in that way, because we haven't been able to very many times.
that's what I'm saying. That's the point that I'm making, is like,
yeah.
that we don't get to, I mean, we share it here on the podcast, and who's ever listening, like, we love that you listen and support us and all of the things, but like in person, our own, family members, friends, close friends, it's like not all of them just like even, it's almost like they dance around it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Dance around it, and
Almost
that's
everybody in our life
uncomfortable.
dances around it.
Yeah. Dances with the devil. Yeah. I'm to the point now where I'm like, this is my life. This is not a lifestyle. My brother taught me that. Do not say it's a lifestyle. We're living life. We are
Yeah.
living our life. This is not a style to change in and out of.
No, not at all. It's our choice and our happiness, and I think we spent a lot of our life not doing that, so I'm really fucking proud of us for now stepping up and saying, yeah.
And I know, like, it can sometimes feel selfish, or we go back and forth where, as growing up and mainly being a people pleaser, it is hard to say when you have family out of town and they're like, oh my God, are you coming back? Are you coming back for the holiday, for this, for that? And it's like, sorry, we are being selfish and saying, this is like, we're figuring ourselves out still. We're not to the place of just going and sitting down with other people right now. And as we are still discovering our life together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just like I said this morning too, everything happened really fast for us. So now that
But it didn't in this moment. It felt like it
didn't
was
feel
hard.
like it in the moment, no. But we just realized tonight that we're coming up on like our official 2-year anniversary. We haven't even actually been together for more than 2 years. So like,
and that was long distance, and we didn't get to share holidays together.
So like now it's time to like let us slow down and see what this, like, feel it, live it, actually enjoy like our first holiday together.
And allowing it to fall in place with co-parenting and kids and traditions and what it means for us and all of the things. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm really excited, and no hard feelings to anybody. Hopefully hopefully people can understand that and respect that. And I think even in some straight marriages, couples, sometimes the first year or so, like, they're figuring it out too, and they don't maybe go back and do the same tradition because now there's new traditions, or they're trying to discover. So I don't think it's like brand new rocket science here. It's very much just like, this is our new relationship.
Yeah.
We're letting it fall into place.
Yeah.
And we're having some boundaries along the way and making sure we feel safe and comfortable and accepted and loved, and not just like, I think in queer relationships and gay relationships, it can be kind of like a very judgy feeling.
Oh yeah.
And I've even talked about it with my brother sometimes, where he would share with me, like, sometimes it was hard going back because it's like this facade, like you have to put on like this, like, tone down your gayness because there is something about being around other queer people that make it so natural for you to just be whatever level of zesty that you want. And when you're around a bunch of straight people, not only straight people that
it's not a zest fest.
It's not a zest fest. And they might still have an idea of the old version, or somebody that wasn't very comfortable in their skin at that time. And then that's when you revert back, and then all of a sudden it's uncomfortable, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And I think for me too, a lot of it is that I know that there's underlying judgment or disagreement.
Yeah.
Because I know certain people that I've known long enough, and that feels almost a little bit icky to me.
Mhm.
Like, why would you want me there if the whole time you're just going to be like,
We
you're
miss the
going to hell?
well, yeah, the you're going to hell, but like the feeling of saying like I miss the old you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like a knife turn, like
Yeah.
turn it a
And
little bit.
I feel like that's really common when you come out, that people will like unintentionally or intentionally, like, remind you that you've changed.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah, we're supposed to.
Yeah, we're all supposed to evolve and do soul searching. I cannot speak today. Soul searching and get to the center,
Yeah.
the crunchy stuff, the stuff
The
that's hard,
center of the
the
Tootsie
stuff
Pop.
that's hard to like sift through and really understand, like challenge that and explore that. And if you don't want to hang out with your family, like that's okay.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
maybe you don't want to sit at that table anymore. That's okay.
Speaking of change, though, I might be going back to school. And I'm
Yeah.
really excited for it.
Yeah.
Now I just have to figure out like exactly what it is that I want to do.
Because there's a lot.
That's the hard part. I
Because you
feel
want
like
to do
that's the
everything.
hardest
Because you
part.
want to do everything, right?
It's not that I want to do everything. It's that like I don't know. I feel like I look back and I'm like, okay, all of the people that got to like graduate and go to college, which I didn't do, you have like a summer, right? You have like some time to sit and be
Mhm.
like, all right, how am I going to approach this? What am I going to, whatever. You have time to get ready. And I guess for me, I'm like, I never took the time to figure out what the hell I actually wanted to do because I never had the opportunity to do it.
Mhm.
So now I'm kind of in
Yeah.
that like 19-year-old mindset that it's like, that's when you were supposed to figure it out and execute. And I'm like, shit, okay.
But even the people that thought they had it figured out at one point
Change their mind
change
later.
their mind, and in their 60s, 70s, like there are people going to school and like learning new
Yeah.
things and taking on new careers and a whole new journey.
Yeah.
So I feel like whatever it is, just explore it and see what it is that sticks. But I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. Yeah, I'm so excited for you to just focus on what is going to get you ahead and give you a sense of accomplishment
And
and
better myself.
better
And
yourself. And the whole time, I mean, I love you, we support each other, all of the things, but having your own independence is the best feeling in the world.
yeah.
And there are a lot of women that I see that will dedicate their life to being a stay-at-home mom, and then all of a sudden kids are getting older, they're in school,
Or you go through a divorce.
and
That's
then you
something
have
that I feel like
yeah.
is so not talked about enough. How many women, and I know we've talked about it a little bit, but just like stay simply because they have literally pushed themselves back into a corner
It's like
and they have
staying at a
nowhere to
job that you know you
go.
should leave.
Yeah, because because the man got to go make money and you never got to because you were raising kids instead.
Yeah, and then all of a
So
sudden it's like this big culture shock of like, oh my god, I have no way to escape, I have no way out, I have everything I have, you're depending on somebody else. And
yeah.
I will say I take a lot of pride in where, I had to get myself to a certain place, but I wasn't a full stay-at-home mom, but I was dependent on, my first husband. And that's scary to like walk away. The last thing the judge looked at me and said, like, you literally have nothing. Are you waiving everything? And I was like, yep, all I want is my happiness. I want to do everything on my own. I just want my happiness.
Yeah. Once you get to that point, that's when like you got to get out.
Oh yeah. And slowly like build it up and like go after whatever it takes. Make the right steps to don't just dive right into something that's like quick and easy, but like plan it out, map it out, and really stick to it because it will.
I have a top 2 choices.
What are they?
I'm not going to say on here yet because I don't want to commit to anything and then everybody be like, you changed your mind.
Okay.
Take your time. Ask me again when we're not on live.
Okay.
On this.
When we're not recording.
Yes.
Documenting.
When we are not documenting.
Yeah, it's been exciting just this far watching you get to the place you are today, because I have seen huge growth. And I think that's why I get so passionate and a little ragey when I don't see or hear family members or past friends reaching out and really wanting to know more, because it's like we've done some really big
Mhm.
things. And like if I go back to 2 years ago, I was very close to um ending my fucking life.
Yeah.
And that's where I was at 2 years ago. That's where I
I
was
would have
at.
never even met you.
Nope, we wouldn't have, yeah,
Yeah.
never met. But it got really hard in that moment, and I was like, I was a coward for a minute. I wanted to like undo it all, and by undo it, like disappear and vanish and not hurt anybody, because I was like, I keep fucking up everything. I'm fucking up everybody's world all because of who I am.
Mhm.
Let's just make that person not exist. And thankfully I just kept pushing through, because we got through, you have to pick your hard. Like we say all the time,
Yeah.
pick your hard. What is it that you really want, and go after it. And there should always be hards. You can't get too comfortable, and you have to get comfortable with being
There
uncomfortable,
will always be
because if
hearts.
you're uncomfortable, you're growing. It's
Mhm.
uncomfortable for a reason. And so you
Mhm.
have to keep pushing yourself and
I
not
think
giving up.
fear of the unknown, it controls way too many people's decision making. And I am guilty of it myself. We all are. Humans don't
But
like the
so many
unknown. That's
things all
scary.
along the way have been scary, even up to like just anything.
I
Just
will
the
say,
travel that we have coming up to get the kids here is
yeah.
scary.
Yeah. Yeah, through life doing the things that scare me are like looking back, those are the best things I've ever done. Are the things that scared me the most.
Yep. 100%.
So,
Because you worked through it and you grew, and like
and you
you
realize that you're so
take so
much
much with you.
stronger
Yeah.
than you
Could
would have
ever even
known had you
imagine.
not
Yeah.
fucking gone for it.
Yep. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
pretty incredible.
You're pretty incredible.
All right. Well, I love you. I'm your biggest fan and your biggest supporter. And I'm happy that we can keep boosting each other up to do
Yeah.
bigger and better things, and stay on this mission and keep the momentum going, and continue to share it with people, even though sometimes it's hard to talk about, or we could just like I could just dive deep into some shit. Like
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
feeling all
Y'all,
types of
before we
things
started
today.
recording, I was a little bit ragey, so
Well, I feel emotional, and like just I could cry at any moment. I feel like there's pieces of me even today, doing Kyle's senior pictures.
mhm.
There was just so many moments of just like watching that happen. And this is my first baby. He's turning 18 in December, and that's just a couple months away, and he's graduating, and he's just a full grown man. And
That like towers over
that
you.
towers over me. And I used to like hold that little guy
Mhm.
everywhere. And like, I was like standing there thinking, like, I hope that him being my first one, and he's watched it all. He has
Yeah.
watched it all. And I hope I didn't fuck him up too much, because god damn it, I want to believe that
Every parent fucks their kid up
I just
just a little
I want
bit,
to believe
so
that he's taken some of the good.
he has. He
Yeah,
really has.
cuz it's hard. I get like super choked up about it. It's hard to like it's gone. Like, and people are like blink and it's over, and I never understood that until like recently, where it's like,
Now you have an adult child.
yeah. And they
Yeah.
just keep it just keeps accelerating and getting, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I want you all to be independent. I want you all to not fully depend on me, or um just everybody can like carry their own weight. And i I strive really hard to make sure my kids can do that, because I want everybody wants their kids to be successful and
Yeah.
taken care of and all of the things, and not struggle. And that's all I wish for people, is just to be like in a good place.
Well, from where I'm sitting, I think your kids are doing great, and I think that a lot of that is because of you. So,
Yeah,
doing a great job.
I think a lot of it's because I watched my mom struggle, and I was like, I don't want to struggle like that. I want to have just security and stability, and not fear and struggle. And I want to create a life for myself that nobody can take away.
Yeah, and you've done it.
And I'm cheering you on while you're doing it and getting into the place that you're getting into and having the education and the schooling, whatever it is. I still think like the experience that you already have today is just as powerful, but I also understand like going to school and having that experience. Like I say all the time, just like sitting at a different table sometime, like getting to know other people outside of your comfort zone, and you will learn so much. Like network, meet people,
Yeah.
build relationships.
You've taught me a lot of that. That
I
is
love
for
it.
sure.
It's one of my favorite things to do is like building relationships and networking and like connecting with people. And I just feel like
You're good at it
there's so
too.
many interesting people out there, and like I just love like connections. Really, I do. I
Yeah.
thrive off of it. It's when I'm like my best self.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cracky bones.